to Amazon Prime Video, The Tomorrow War. Joining me is the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's going on? We're going to be reviewing Tomorrow War, which I went in and I was kind of hesitant and I said, hey, I don't think this is going to be that great. Let's give it a try, though. Let's go ahead and see what it was all about. And I got to say, I was surprised. I liked it.
This is going to be our non-spoiler review. We're going to do a big spoiler review, probably release that next week sometime. But we want to make sure we get the word out about this movie, give you guys your own chance to think it over, figure out how you can watch it, and then just depending on what we let you guys know, you can decide for yourselves if you want to check it out. So once again, this is the Tomorrow War. It's stars Chris Pratt, J.K. Simmons, Yvonne Strahovski, Sam Richardson. It's a great cast, a great supporting cast, and Chris Pratt plays a great lead. We could probably go a little bit into the plot, but I'm not going to go very far. This is all about, if you see the trailer, you kind of got all of this from the trailer. The Earth is going to experience a some type of major war conflict in the future, and they send soldiers to the past for recruiting, and we'll kind of leave it at that. But the circumstances surrounding the longevity of the conflict, as well as the toll it takes on both the civilians in the future as well as civilians in the past. A lot of different subplots are playing out through this, but that's the overall plot of the movie. Joe, let's you and I just talk about in general what things we liked about this movie, what kind of what didn't work, and then we might even give a little Geekcast review rating. I think that's what we should do at the end.
Yeah.
But I'll go first. I didn't have a whole lot of expectations in this for going into this movie, and I was like gladly surprised by what I watched. It was action packed, almost start to finish. There was some setup and all that good stuff. I'm totally fine with it. I kind of liked it, and just there's a certain point in the movie where it takes off, and it really doesn't slow down a whole lot. Absolutely loved it. There was just enough comedy. I could have used a little bit more, but it's entertaining as hell. The supporting cast really does their part. Really, surrounds Chris Pratt with a solid cast. And I love the story. I love the writing. Shout out to director Chris McKay, who not only directed the Lego Batman movie, but he's also sometime in the future is going to direct the Nightwing movie. He did a fantastic job. The special effects looked high quality. I really nothing really stood out to me that I didn't like about the special effects. All in all, I was like entertained like the majority of this movie. Watched it with my son. He was all into it. I love the design of sort of the antagonists or the villains. I don't want to give anything away too much, but I love just the design of everything else that was in this movie. It was really well done. I was so surprised. Joe, what about you, man?
I liked it. It kind of reminded me of like playing a video game almost.
Totally.
So that's why your son probably liked it, and I'm sure that at my children are gonna like it once they see it. Even my nephew because he's visiting here from out of town, but they're all into video games, right? So
Right.
you're a young person and you're gonna watch this, and you're in your 20 somethings or a teen, I can see the appeal. It's very video game esque, and the presentation, the storyline, and even the graphical flair. The effects and everything. It almost feels like you're watching, or you're kind of like a person in a third person kind of view, just along for the ride, watching somebody play a video game. That's what I kind of took, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a knock on the movie. It's really good
Nope.
because it's just action packed. What I liked about it is they didn't have a long drawn out introduction to it. They kind of got into it right away, and that's a good thing. Because when you kind of drag things out and you have all this character development and you're trying to explain so much of the story, and sometimes it takes away from the movie. I think at this juncture, what they did is they kind of forewent they went for they forewent that, or they forgoed that, and what they did is they focused mainly on what is interesting to the audience. And when they did that, they stuck to the action, stuck to the plot line still. It was quite interesting to see what's happening in the future and also what's happening in the past, how it correlates with one another.
Sure.
And one of the things I do like to point out as well is J.K. Simmons is absolutely ripped, bro.
Yeah.
That dude is
Yeah.
ripped. It's like, damn, this guy, he's up there in age, but man, this dude is ripped. So
Jay Jonah is buff.
he's buff, man. So it was cool seeing him. Jonah Jameson. The buff version. So that's really who he is, though, in real life. I know the guy works out a lot. So it's no surprise, to see him being ripped in this film. I'd like to see him in more action roles. Actually, I think he has that persona and that ball head and everything kind of fits the mercenary kind of look. So I like that about him. But everything I thought was really well done. There was a lot of graphical effects as far as the CGI, but it wasn't over the top,
No,
to where it looks so gaudy or ugly. It just really flowed in context of the story in the film itself. I think the cinematography was great. A lot of action scenes. I can see if some people are get motion sickness easily, they could probably get a little bit, you know, dizzy or whatnot, getting nauseous watching the movie at times because of the camera angles. Because it's kind of like a gorilla effect that they have, which is a good thing because it puts you right in the action of the film.
right.
But overall, I liked it. From start to finish, it was not disappointing, and it kept you intrigued, kept the story moving along. It wasn't like corny, cringy moments in here. There
Nope.
was, you were saying, oh well, I was looking for more comedy. I don't think this was so much of a comedic movie. This was more of something to be taken more seriously, which
Definitely.
which I enjoyed quite a bit. I didn't want the corny, one-liners trying to throw them in there like we saw with the Justice League movie. This was a good solid performance from start to finish for Chris Pratt. I liked him as Star Lord, of course, but
Of
seeing him in
course.
a more serious role such as this kind of shows the actor's range. So good on him.
He's asked to do a lot in this movie. We know him as kind of a jokey, comical guy in Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as like the Jurassic World trilogy. But he's asked to carry a lot of the emotional beats. Right?
Yeah.
He's a family man. He's a family man. He's struggling to find a good paying job in this day and age. And the audience is meant to feel all of the frustrations that he's going through, but this movie, especially without spoiling anything, it takes a lot of unexpected twists. It takes a lot of unexpected turns. Chris Pratt is asked to carry a lot of that emotional weight, and all of those emotional moments work for me. They really did. I also have a lot sort of in common, not to say with not with the character or the
We
plot,
both have daughters. That's
but
probably why.
we both are, we both have families and stuff like that, so like we can relate to a lot of the emotional connections that we see in this movie. All of those emotional beats work to me. All of the action sequences work for me. You see some elements in this movie. Listen, this is a sci-fi movie, not horror. It's not action adventure. It is a straight sci-fi movie, and I think that it's also grounded in the essence of what it's trying to do, what it's trying to convey. The plots and some of the components of, I want to say so much, but I can't. Um, some of the heavy tones that they are trying to convey with the audience. You feel all that stuff. There's a lot of heavy content within this movie that we really haven't seen done a whole lot in other ones, and we'll talk about that more in our spoiler review. Cinematography you mentioned is fantastic. One reason for that, the incredible Larry Fong, who's worked with Zack Snyder on Watchmen, 300, Batman v Superman. He also did Kong, Skull Island. So when you got a guy like Larry Fong behind the camera, this is what you can expect. Just high quality, you know, tip top, just picturesque movie, high quality footage. It looked beautiful. It also sounded beautiful. For a very long time, I was listening to the soundtrack, the theme songs, everything that was going on in the score. and I was like, oh, there's hints of some very famous um, composers. I can't even think of the one I'm trying to do right now. Um, but yeah, it sounded great, and it was a new composer. I thought it was Hans Zimmer. It sounded a little bit like Hans Zimmer. It's a lot of horns. There's a lot of suspense in the music. It's done very well, and to my surprise, it was a brand new composer I had not heard of. But yeah, really got sort of the Hans Zimmer sort of feel from it. So, love the cinematography. I love the score. This movie is highly entertaining, and you get a lot from it. It's action. You get a little bit of comedy. There's a lot of suspense. You're on the edge of your seat for multiple points in this movie. I highly recommend it. I know Joe does as well. We got one other guy that has something to say, Joe, that we want to go ahead and let the folks know what he wants to say. So he couldn't be with us, but the man, myth, legend sent a video about what he thought regarding Tomorrow War. We're gonna go ahead and play that video right now, Joe. Whenever you're
Yep.
ready.
Yep. I'll get it started.
Hey guys, let you know my thoughts on Tomorrow War real quick. I gotta say, when I saw the trailer, I was intrigued, but I wasn't sure how it was gonna be. It seemed a bit hokey on the plot line, and I was like, okay, why was this a movie going to a streaming service? Researched a little bit. Obviously, Paramount had planned to release it, and then COVID and all that stuff. But thank you, Amazon, for picking it up. Um, I think the story, time travel stories get crazy, but this one was actually pretty well done. Uh, it's really a lot about this guy. First off, the way they got some people to go into the future. It's a little bit of a civil liberty thing, but that's just me. If we're going into the legal part of it, but as far as how the story panned out and what they did, I thought it was written well. It was done very well. The CGI on it wasn't like over the top or in your face. The alien race was looked really good. Um, so I think they did a good job as far as the story, how they presented it. It wasn't too out there, and everything sort of made sense. Everything in the plot kind of circled back and tied together, which I thought was really good. Um, I gotta say though, my screener, I missed like the last 15 minutes and I haven't gotten to see it because the screen access just like went out on me. So I'll actually be waiting until it comes out on Amazon Prime to actually see how the movie ends. So thankfully, this isn't a spoiler review, something we'll do later. But I did enjoy it. I thought the casting was done well. I thought Chris Pratt did really good. Um, this as being a sci-fi movie, it was actually pretty good. Um, how it stands at this time, I don't know, but it wasn't so much a Star Trek, but more almost like a I don't know, almost like a It's a Wonderful Life kind of sci-fi thing when you get down to it. So, but still, it was good. It wasn't a whole lot of like comedy, which I expected, but they had little snippets here and there. But cast was great. Thought it was a good film, and look forward to catching the ending when it comes out on Amazon Prime. So later.
And there
Poor
you go.
guy. Poor guy didn't get to finish the end. But still, shout out to Amazon Prime Video for allowing us to catch the movie early. I highly enjoyed it. I wish I was watching this in a theater. I want that big sound. I want that clear, large picture, just to see what these effects look like on a big screen. I'm happy to figure it out, put it outside or something on a projector. Because I want to see it on a much bigger, the biggest screen I could find.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I put it up on my projector and I was watching it here, and I have a pretty decent set of speakers, so I was able
Yeah,
to really get the full context of the music, and the background music and whatnot. One of the things that I really not understood, but I really liked is that this is a heavy movie. It's to be taken serious. And what I liked about the actual soundtrack itself is that there was a lot of use of not only horns but also drums, bass,
yeah.
which gave the music a very deeper uh, tone to it, which kind of went exactly with the feel of the overall movie itself, which I liked. Even at the end, when they had the end credit scenes rolling, the music that they had then, I thought was really well done as well. Um, Another thing that I liked that was like a thumbprint, because I'm very particular when it comes to the cinematography and the varying styles of the people behind the lens, the director's vision, and the guys running the cameras and whatnot. This film had a very clean, very razor sharp look to it, and that's unique to the director's style, his unique style. Very clean, very sharp images, and I like that. Even like the lighting effects, flares, those types of things, just everything. Like if you could just pause it and look at it, I mean, it gives you a deeper appreciation for the level of cinematography that the director is trying to portray out there on the screen. And it's hard to do sometimes with action films. And I thought he did a miraculous job, just keeping that same tone throughout the film. So, hats off to this director for doing a stellar job, and keeping things moving and looking so good from start to finish. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Amazon, for the opportunity to see the screener. And it's one of these, let's say, summer movies that you're going to want to go ahead and see with the family. And I think everybody, from your wife to your youngest child, will appreciate it and will actually be, glued to the TV or, a projector or whatever, and really watch this film from start to finish.
Absolutely. All right. Now's a good time to discuss our Geekcast ratings. We're probably gonna do this again with the rest of the group, but I want to see where kind of you and I both stand. I'm gonna start out by giving this one a 4.5 out of 5. So that's a 1 to 5 scale. I give this one a 4.5. I'm no spoilers, right? There's just a couple of things I think would prevent it from being a completely perfect film, but I was highly entertained. Love the action, love the story, love the writing. It was fantastic. Joe, what about you, man?
I'm going to take a different take on it, actually. I thought it was one of the better action films that I've seen in
Oh
quite some
man,
time. I'm going to be honest with you. I've even seen Fast and the Furious, which you love so much, Ted. Saw the
wait,
latest one, and I got to tell you, man, af-
Jericho. That's Jericho.
after looking at all these, action films, they've kind of been a disappointment. This one going in, not expecting much, it kind of left me with the a surprise. Like, hey, this was really well done. I liked it from start to finish. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 and say that there wasn't much that they could do to
Wow.
improve it other than make a sequel. You know,
All
give us
right.
a sequel. Bring us Tomorrow War 2.
Hey, the next week war. What would it be? We'll see.
The tomorrow 2 and 10 years later war.
The
Who knows?
day after tomorrow war.
There you
Yeah,
go. There you
exactly.
go.
All right. Shout out to Chris Pratt. Shout out to director Chris McKay, who needs to go ahead and get started on that Nightwing movie. Warner Brothers green lighted. Get it moving already. Um, great supporting cast. We had a great time. We hope you get a chance to watch it. Thank you guys for watching this video. After you watch the Tomorrow War, let us know what you thought about it. We're going to do our spoiler review video sometime early next week. We're also going to be talking again the next episode of Loki on Wednesday. And then we're going to be hopefully picking a couple of our followers in the San Antonio area to join us for our Geekcast private screening for Black Widow next Friday. Details coming soon on how you can join us watching Black Widow on July 9th. For the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this very special review of the Tomorrow War is the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Yeah, and thanks again for watching our review of Tomorrow War. And if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you like and subscribe. And again, we appreciate the time that everybody takes to look at our reviews. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, folks. See you next week.